Miriam's one of my favorite novelists, and I had always had a rich fantasy life about how to how to contact her, because we grew up about 45 minutes from each other. Miriam's from Steinbach, Manitoba, and I'm from Winnipeg. And I loved her work because we're of a similar vintage, I'll say, and so much of her work includes images and references that are part of my childhood and youth as well. So I was always drawn to her writing. Winnipeg in southern Manitoba is home to a huge Mennonite community. And the Mennonite culture is really a very big part of southern Manitoba life. So I was familiar with modern versions of Mennonite culture, but not with the more extreme versions of it, like the colonies that we deal with in the movie. So it was a lot of synchronicity that I was in Manitoba, had grown up, knew Miriam's work, etc. It was, all things came together really nicely. I love working with Sarah. I loved working with her 30 years ago when she was 9 years old. She was always, even then on the road to Avonlea, she was always a bright spark in a world of craziness. And she's just one of the smartest human beings I've ever met. I loved hearing her take on the story and knowing a little bit of, what I knew of her as a child, how her brain worked. I knew that whatever direction she was going to take this in would be a good one. She could not have been more supportive of my explorations and of my input, and it was a dream collaboration for me. I did read Sarah's script and I loved it because it was so similar to the book, but yet highlighted things that added to the storytelling, to the visual storytelling, in a way that, where it is in Miriam's book, you had your own imagination to take you to the places you needed to go. And what Sarah did, I feel, is accentuate some of the more visually interesting and maybe emotionally interesting pieces. I had two wonderful women, Esther Jansen and Marianne Hildebrand, who were my cultural consultants, and they connected me to families who could give me information about the culture, about the clothing. I shopped at Mennonite clothing, or fabric stores, rather. I had Mennonite women do beautiful sewing for us, providing us with the real thing. So Sarah allowed me to present her with what the reality of it was, what the reality of the look for the women and the men. We don't see too many men in this film, but Ben and several of the other fellas were in the very traditional outfits as well. But I presented the reality to Sarah, and she let me know what, if any, alterations she wanted made to it. And in the end, it was very, very little. I think what really changed my view of all of this is when I put one of those dresses on. I bought a couple of them at a thrift store in southern Manitoba, and I put one on thinking, what farm wife is going to want to spend 14 hours a day in a polyester dress? And I put one on, I went, oh, I get it. You can move, you can do anything you want, they're practical, you take it off, you wash it, you hang it up, it's dry in 20 minutes. And that really changed my way of thinking. I really, really had to let go of the aesthetic, of the costume designiness of it all, and lean into the practicality. The clothing, that we used in the film, apart from some of the leads, some of the leads, is the real deal. Those are beautiful, handmade, handed down, actual Mennonite dresses that the women are wearing, and some of the men's stuff too. It was just such a wonderful collaboration between the actual community and the world of movie making. I didn't have to do too much. What I did do was, I think, try to facilitate explaining the look and the reason for this and the cultural significance of the way those women look, explaining that to Sarah and to the producers and to our actors. I loved working with Peter. He's a wonderful man, first and foremost. He's talented and was so supportive of what I was doing, and again, respectful of what I had learned in my research, and we tried our best to work together to recreate the world that you see in the film. All of us in the crew and production and all levels said, we'll never have something like this again, because everything about it just came together so beautifully. But then we had to stop saying that because thought maybe we were cursing ourselves. We said that this would now be the bar for work, that because it was such a wonderful collaboration. I felt so supported in my role. I felt respected. It was wonderful. It was a really, really great experience, one of the best I've ever had, work-wise and otherwise, in my life.